Shalom, family. I hope everybody is doing well. Wow, there is so many things going on in this country. I can hardly keep up. I was just reading through some articles just before I came on. It is crazy. They don't have nothing in order, not a thing. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen because I want you to see this article from the Wall Street Journal. Okay. Give me a one if you can see the screen. Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Oh, man. America, you are looking weak these days. So you got Colonial pipeline that in order to get everything back up and running, y'all, they paid the ransom that the hackers were requesting, which I think was a stupid thing. Now, wouldn't you be open to being hacked multiple times and people demanding ransoms? You know, it is hard to believe you didn't have your system secure so that people could not hack into it and take it over. You know, look at how easy it was to bring down the East Coast over this. Very easy. So, this is the Wall Street Journal, May 13th, 2021. Colonial Pipeline said to pay ransom to hackers who caused shutdown. Colonial Pipeline Company paid a ransom to the criminal hackers who caused the company to shut down. The country's largest, this is one of the country's largest fuel suppliers, okay? According to people familiar with the matter, a payment that allowed the firm to obtain decryption tools to try to unlock the computer system. That is a damn shame. So you are letting everybody know your system was vulnerable and easy for somebody to come in and hack. Well, the ransom paid in, listen to this, the ransom was paid in cryptocurrency, was approximately $5 million at the time of the transaction. One of the people familiar with the matter said the company restarted pipeline operations Wednesday. Now, although, y'all, they started everything back up Wednesday, they said it's going to take several days to get everything caught up to speed. So over the next week, people are still going to have problems finding gas. Not everybody, but quite a few, because I know it was over 1,000 gas stations up and down the East Coast. So some locations hit, some may not be hit quite as bad. But nevertheless, it definitely impacted everything. All right. And said it was resuming service throughout the entire system Thursday after a cyber attack last week forced it to shut down, leading to regional gas shortages and higher prices. It couldn't be learned whether the ransom payment directly enabled Colonial to restart its 5,500 mile. So they run through 5,500 miles. Wow. Through the East Coast and Southeast. It goes all the way from around Pennsylvania, all the way through parts of Texas. So, wow, that is a big deal. Which runs from Texas to New Jersey. Energy analysts said it would be likely days before gasoline supplies are returned to normal. in affected areas in the Southeast. That's why I'm telling you, although they got everything back up and running, it's going to kind of have a domino effect before everything is back to a normal level. Mm-mm-mm. All right, Bloomberg reported earlier Thursday that Colonial had paid the hackers a sum of nearly $5 million. Woo, you know how weak y'all look. So you didn't have nobody that is an expert in computers that can fight off hackers that you couldn't have called. You had to pay the ransom. Woo, that's pathetic. That's pathetic. And that the decryption tools ultimately wasn't effective in restoring operations. Instead, Colonial was able to recover by relying on system backups, Bloomberg said. So you gave $5 million away for nothing. Y'all getting just what you deserve. I don't even feel bad for you. Colonial declined to comment on the ransom. The company, which estimates that it provides 45% of the East Coast fuel, shut down the pipeline last Friday after being hit by a ransomware attack. U.S. officials and cybersecurity experts have linked the attack to a Russian-speaking criminal gang known as Dark Side, believed to be based in Eastern Europe. So somebody from all the way across the ocean was able to take down your East Coast. And you, this is what happens when you got high IQ people running things. Ransomware is a type of cyber attack that locks up a victim's computer system and demands payment from the victims to have files released. Payments are usually made in cryptocurrency. For years, the FBI has told companies victimized by ransomware to not pay hackers because doing so would support a booming criminal marketplace. Digital extortion schemes have become so lucrative that they now routinely tally into tens of millions of dollars, according to U.S. officials and security companies that track ransomware. Well, they paid the ransom. Senior U.S. officials have acknowledged that companies often have little choice but to pay, especially if their systems aren't securely backed up. DarkSide, which has said it has broken into networks on more than 80 companies dating back to August 2020. Wow, that is that many, 80 companies? And claimed to be an experienced team of ransomware creators that previously made millions of dollars infecting victim networks. Well, then everybody is vulnerable. I mean, and all they do is extort money. DarkSide also claims to engage in extortion, threatening to publicly publish data belonging to its victims if they don't pay the ransom. The hackers have said they are willing to sell inside information about publicly traded companies if these companies refuse to meet their demand. And they're doing this to businesses in the U.S. Speaking to reporters Thursday, President Biden declined to comment on whether he had been briefed on the ransomware payment. The FBI had concluded that the Russian government wasn't directly responsible for the pipeline hack. Mr. Biden said, but he said he expected to speak to Russian President Vladimir Putin. You know, Vladimir Putin won't speak to Biden. They wanted to set up a meeting and Putin refused. He won't even speak to Biden. So he said he wanted to speak to Vladimir Putin soon about the country turning a blind eye to criminal hacking enterprises within its borders. We do not believe the Russian government was involved in the attack, but we do have a strong reason to believe that the criminals who did the attack are living in Russia, Mr. Biden said. We have been in direct communication with Moscow about the imperative for the responsible country to take decisive action against these ransomware networks. Russian officials have declined involvement in the Colonial pipeline attack. The shutdown of the pipeline, which delivered gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other refined products, triggered a run on gas stations in parts of the East Coast this week and helped push gasoline prices to their highest level in 6.5 years. Colonial said Thursday afternoon that it had begun delivering fuel to all of its markets and restarted operations, though it warned it would take several days for the product delivery supply chain to return to normal. Yeah, so if you don't have that much gas in your car and you're in one of those areas where they're out of gasoline, you may be waiting until next week before you can get any gas for your vehicle. Some markets served by Colonial Pipeline may experience or continue to experience intermittent service interruptions during this startup period, it said in a statement. The national average gasoline price edged up Thursday by 2 cents a gallon to $3.03, pushed up in part by a run on gas stations across the country. People that are, our binge buyers are now running to the gas station. Yeah, that's who they're talking about. Okay, so the Southeast, according to AAA, prices started the year around $2.25. And has been rising as fuel demand continues to recover from last year's pandemic lows. Thousands of gas stations from Tallahassee, Florida to Washington, D.C. ran out of fuel this week as nervous motorists waited in long lines. And I did see that. And they said there were fights breaking out in those lines. People were getting out the car and fist fighting and carrying on and acting crazy. As of Thursday morning, 68% of the gas stations in North Carolina had run dry, according to the fuel and price tracker, Gas Buddy, which collects data from drivers that report such outages. In Georgia, 49% had ran out of fuel. In South Carolina, 52%. In Virginia, 54%. At least 7 public school systems in North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee instituted remote classes at least through Friday as the gas shortages make it, it was making it hard for students and staff to make it to in-person classes. We are monitoring local fuel availability and have not seen a significant increase in the level of fuel options over the past 24 hours. Chapel Hill, Carrboro City Schools in North Carolina said in a statement. Wow. So this dark side group can hack any big industry and they are at their mercy and have to pay a ransom. That's pretty bad. Woo, this happening to tough talking America. Butts ain't about nothing. It couldn't happen to better people. Thank you, Dee, for the super chat. I had a funny comment on the first video I put out. One guy said, "This is a fake. All the gas is truckered in." Well, how do you think the gas get on the truck? You got to get the gas on the truck. What are you talking about? Boy, some people really don't know how the industry work, and they're sitting here trying to comment. That was hilarious. I mean, the gas don't just appear on the fuel truck. You got to put it in from a source, okay? And that source is the Colonial pipeline. Thank you, Dee. Thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, trucker didn't get. That's what I laughed at too. I said, "Boy, this person don't know how the industry work." You know, first of all, those trucking industries, they got to pay for that gas. Where do you think where it origin, the origins of where that gas come from? What a joke. I said, obviously somebody that don't know what they're talking about. It was just funny. It was just funny as hell. Yeah, but you know what? It just go to show you all the talk they do about knowing this and they're the best at this and they are the creators of that. Look how poor they are doing in running this. How you going to let yourself get hacked to the point where you got to pay a ransom because you don't have nobody on your staff that knows how to get in there and undo that stuff? You better, you know what, Colonial? Which I hate your name, Colonial. You better start training your people how to hack. That's how you counteract it. Y'all stupid. No, because you're not focused on the hacking. You're focused on the money. That's what it is. They are focused on the money. But like I said, y'all, COVID is showing you these folks do not know how to run businesses. They just know how to talk a good game. But at the end of the day, they don't know how to do crap. And they are not better than us at anything, which is another big lie they've been running around here saying for years. They're not. Because if you were better at everything, for when COVID start jumping off in here and you claimed all these years you invented medicine and science, you should have been on it. You should have been leading the world in fixing COVID, but you didn't. And to this day, their scientists will tell you they still don't know all of the symptoms of COVID. They don't know this, all the symptoms are. And they don't even know the variants fully and what they can do. So America's full of crap, just a bunch of big talkers, not about nothing. You know, you just got a bunch of mediocre people running things. That's what you got at the end of the day. That's all you got. Mm-hmm. No, Rika, this ain't no illusion. People were really lined up at those gas stations. You can go out there and watch the videos from several different states. You know, usually when people know they can't figure stuff out and you look bad in front of the world, you'll just call everything a fraud because what else do you have left? What else do you have left to defend yourself on doing so poorly? Yeah, I saw that stuff going on in Israel. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I saw North Carolina videos on online because I won't watch TV. So I saw all of the videos. You know what, Rika, it really doesn't matter if it's an inside job. It still impacted the entire East Coast. I mean, you act like if you say it's an inside job, it's something different. It's not. I look, I saw the out of gas signs even here in my state. So it doesn't matter if it's an inside job. You still took down the East Coast for several days. It still happened. Yeah. And plus, I don't care what happens to this place. This place treat my people like crap. Why would I care about what happens to it? Let them deal with it. I'm glad. Let their lives be difficult. They make our lives difficult for 500 years. Let them be uncomfortable now. It's long overdue as far as I'm concerned. All right, everybody. I'm going to conclude right now. And I thank you so much for coming. I got one more video that's coming out today. So just be on the lookout. I probably will do that in a premiere. And maybe in like an hour or two from now. All right. So enjoy your day, and we'll come back and do this again. Peace, family.